All right, here goes nothing. Hi everyone, it's Stefano from University of Buffalo Career Services, and I'm coming to you live from our office here at 259 Cape and Hall on North Campus. And welcome to the Career Mentor Experience. Today we're going to be chatting about part one, which is finding a mentor. Now, a little bit of background about you on the Career Mentor Experience is that this is actually a program that I've been working on for the last 2 semesters, and we've offered it twice, and this is actually the third time, which I'm really excited about. But it's actually grown quite a bit in that really short period of time. It started actually as a three-part series as opposed to the two-part series, which it is today. But it started as a three-part series that was spread through 3 months. It started there was one session in February, one in March, one in April. And after some assessment from students, those surveys that we asked them to fill out, we learned that they didn't really want to wait a whole month until the next part. So we kind of changed the model up a little bit. And now it is a two-part series. Now, last semester we did offer it as a two-part series. However, it was still an in-person program where students came in. However, we found that a lot of students weren't able to make it. Really crazy schedules with class, work, internships, projects, exams to study for, so they weren't all able to make it. So this is actually the very first time that we're using Google Hangouts on air. To broadcast live, so that way you can watch from the comforts of your home, the residence hall, the library, the bus, wherever you're watching from. So thanks for watching live right now. And in addition, we can share the link with you to watch afterwards. So let's say that you RSVP, if you're not able to watch right now, this moment, A-okay, totally fine. You can watch when we share the link with you afterwards. And the really cool thing about that is that you can also share the link with your friends too. So let's say maybe it's something that they might enjoy as well. Feel free to share the link with them as well. All right. So now let me pull up my screen so that I can share the PowerPoint presentation that we are about to begin. All right, so like I said, welcome to the Career Mentor Experience. This is part one, finding a mentor. Like I said, Stefano Versoto. If there are any questions or technology issues, feel free to shoot me a tweet at gsvertisoto, and I'll be more than happy to respond, whether it's right now or later. Now, like I said, this is a two-part online series, and it's all about making connections, finding career mentors, mastering networking techniques, and that includes both online and in person. So these are some really great things that we're going to be talking about, not just today, but during part two, which is coming up next week as well. Now, as far as today goes specifically, we're going to be talking about making connections and finding career mentors. Well, how do you do that exactly? Understanding the importance of LinkedIn, which everyone seems to be talking about, and then using the UB Mentor Program, which is a LinkedIn group that connects you to different UB alumni and UB employers that can potentially serve as those career mentors. Now, the reason why I have become really interested in this whole idea of making connections with either UB alumni or employers or finding career mentors is because of this finding. 80% of jobs and internships are found through making connections. If you think about it, if you're a hiring manager and if you have a job opening and you post it online and you receive 100 applications, that's a lot of that's a lot of stuff to go through. And what hiring managers more often than not will find is that they actually, in addition to that very large pile of 100 resumes and applications, they also have a smaller pile. And this smaller pile is usually 5 to 10 resumes. Now, these 5 to 10 resumes probably serve as referrals. So these are people that have been referred to the hiring manager by someone that they know and trust. So think about it. If you're a hiring manager, if you have the one stack of the 100+ resumes from people that you don't know, and if you have the smaller stack of the 5 to 10 resumes from people that have been referred to you by people that you know and trust, which one are you going to look through first? Now, I don't know about you, but I would personally look through the second pack first, because again, these are people that have been referred to me that I know and trust, and it's also a lot shorter, so chances are I'm going to offer them interviews, and I'm probably going to go through my hiring needs just through that one pile. So whenever I meet with students on a daily basis and I ask them, well, tell me, how are you going about looking for jobs and internships? The number one thing that I hear is, well, I'm applying online. And that's great. That is definitely a very effective strategy. But it's not as effective as making those connections, because again, what's really cool about meeting new people and making these connections is that they could potentially be that one person that serves as a reference for you, that refers your resume, and that increases your likelihood of getting a job or an internship. So this is huge. Now, what does that really mean? Well, the following really, it's that, like I said, a good resume can get you an interview. Submitting a resume is still effective, but a good connection can get you a job because, again, your resume, your application, it's kind of backed up, quote unquote, if you will, and it's supported by someone that the hiring manager or someone at the organization or institution knows. So what that really means is that you're on the right path. I mean, you know it, you get it, and that's why you RSVP to the Career Mentor Experience. That's why you're watching live now or later, whenever. So you're on the right path. So you are doing it right now. Let's just talk about some of the ways in which we can make that happen. Now, career mentors, who are they? They can be professors, supervisors, UB alumni, employers, anyone else really. I forgot to list classmates, especially upperclassmen that maybe have already taken some of the courses that you have to take or have had internships already, family members, friends of family members, the list goes on really. Now, why are they important? Yes, that 80% that we talked about a few seconds ago, but it's also a really good chance for you to conduct informational interviews, which are essentially just a chance for you to chat with someone, either on the phone or in person, and learn more about them, their career, what it was like to work in some of these companies or organizations, maybe help you prepare as you start looking for a job or an internship. Maybe what are some of the key words that you should have on your resume? Might these career mentors be willing to look at your resume and provide you with feedback? And I think these are some other really great reasons why connecting with people professionally and having those career mentors is really, really important. Now, where can they be found? Honestly, just about anywhere. Class, work, events. Events I like to think of as networking events could be anything. It could be you going out to dinner with some friends and there's people that you haven't met before. That's a networking event. You can get to meet them. Or it can be large-scale networking events where 200 plus people attend, and it's a really great chance for you to chat with them. So again, they can be found just about anywhere, and especially, last but not least, LinkedIn. Now, the reason why I bolded LinkedIn is because we're going to talk about it right now. And a question that I have for a lot of folks is, well, everyone knows about LinkedIn, or they've kind of heard about it. So I always ask, well, do you have one? How many of you have used it? And a majority of the people that I chat with say, yes, I have one. Now, when I ask, do you use it regularly? The number decreases quite exponentially, honestly. So people know that it's important, people know that they should be using it, but they just don't use it regularly. So if anything, this should serve as a reminder that, hey, you know what, I should definitely use my LinkedIn, make sure that it's looking good, and that way I can use it to connect with other people. Now, with that being said, LinkedIn, what is it good for? All of these reasons. The very first, it's a really great way for you to present yourself in a professional profile. If people Google your name, your LinkedIn should be the very first thing that comes up because it's a very positive way to market yourself, to brand yourself. And it serves as a virtual resume. You can showcase your education, skills, experience. And what's really cool about that is that, traditionally, when you would send a resume, the only people that would see it would be those that you would send it to. With LinkedIn, just about everyone has access to your accomplishments, should they come across your profile online. In addition, you can search for jobs or internships through their website. And lastly, but definitely not least, you can use LinkedIn to connect with others. So make those professional connections, find yourself a career mentor, or you can learn from those that you connect with. And you can learn from those that you connect with, rather. So let's say that you find someone's profile and they've got like the perfect job, the job that you want. You could potentially look at their profile and see, well, where they interned? Because chances are, if they interned somewhere 5 years ago, that very same company might need an intern today. And, well, how are they writing about their experiences? What are some of the key words that they're using on their profile? Again, this could really be a great way for you to learn about these people and about maybe what it takes to succeed in the field just by having a look at their LinkedIn profile. So again, by no means do you want to copy and paste their whole profile into yours, but it can serve as a really great way for you to just kind of be inspired and learn. Now, Now that we've started talking about LinkedIn as one of the many ways in which you can make more professional connections and meet career mentors, we're going to talk about the UB Mentor Program. Now, I would usually show you a video. It's about a minute and so long, but I'm going to skip it for now. I'm not really sure what the audio might sound like if I try to play a video and it's recording, so I'm going to skip it. But I do recommend, however, if you're watching live right now from YouTube, is just search UB Mentor Program and you can watch this video, and it's a really great little video that shows a success story between a UB alumnus and a UB student and how they developed a really great mentoring relationship and how the student was able to succeed because of it. So things happen, people develop really great relationships and people are able to succeed because of it. So definitely check it out. It's a cool little success story if you get the chance. Now, what is this UB Mentor Program thing that I'm talking about that seems to have a video? Well, it's a LinkedIn group for students to connect with career mentors, which again can be alumni or employers, and it's free and open to all UB students like you. The only people that are, I guess, quote unquote, members of it are current UB students like you and UB alumni, because this group is actually a collaborative partnership between our department here at Career Services and a collaborative partnership between us and the Office of Alumni Engagement. So again, the only people that are really in it are UB students and UB alumni. And it's a really great group for there to be group discussions for both mentors and students to share tips and perspectives. And it's a common group that connects you with over, I should have fixed this, it's no longer 600, now it's over 9 or 1,000 people that want to help. The mentor program currently has over 2,000 members, I believe, and what's really cool again is half of them are UB students like you and the other half are UB alumni that want to help. Now, enough with the PowerPoint slides, enough with the bullet points. Let's get some hands-on work and check out the LinkedIn UB Mentor Program group. So in my quick little hands-on tutorial, we're going to see, well, how do you join the group? How do you engage in group discussions? How do I search for career mentors? And how exactly should I be approaching the whole messaging and connecting with others concept? In addition, I'm also going to chat about how to use the Find Alumni tool, which is honestly one of my favorite resources available on LinkedIn. So let me toggle back from this PowerPoint presentation over to my screen. So, hey again, let me switch on over to my internet. There we go. All right, so this is LinkedIn. For those of you that haven't, looks very familiar. For those of you that don't know, this is actually what it looks like. And like we said, LinkedIn is just a really great way for you to kind of showcase your own accomplishments, educational background, really a great way for you to have a professional presence. Now, first things first, the thing that we want to look at is, let's look at the UB Mentor Program. So if you are not a part of it just yet, you can just search up here and type University at Buffalo Mentor Program, and hopefully I type no typos. Yeah, go Stefano. And the very first thing that comes up is the group, the University of Buffalo Mentor Program. Now again, this is a private group, so the only people that are members are actual UB students like you and UB alumni. So because there is this little lock here, it is a private group, so you have to request to join, and requests to join are usually accepted within 24 hours. So if you're not a member, request to join it, you should receive approval within 24 hours. So that's how you would join the group. Now, engaging in group discussions, like very many groups online and on LinkedIn as well, there are some really cool discussions that go on. So we're going to click on recent right here. And the most recent group discussions are going to come up. So this is a really great way for us to share things that are coming up, questions that we might have, articles that we might want to share, 10 great places you can meet someone while conducting an informational interview, which we talked about already. And then you've also got students. So we've got Luke here that posted a question, about people that work in electrical engineering, and Robert actually responded. So again, it's a really great way for you to kind of engage in those conversations and post questions, and you can just do that right here, type in whatever, and then click share. So that's how you would engage in group discussions. Now, what about looking through numbers and actually finding people to chat with and conduct informational interviews with and make those professional connections? You would click on the members link up here. And what's really cool, it's that the 2,000 plus members will come up. Now, honestly, this is where I wish LinkedIn were a little bit more sophisticated when it came to their search function within the group, is because you can only search by keyword, which is okay. And you can search by major, industry, company, location, whatever, and different folks will come up. So let's search by maybe marketing. All right, so the people that have got the keyword marketing on their profile will come up. So over 500 of them came up, so it's still a big number, but it's a good start. And again, the people that come up are either going to be students like you or UB alumni that have signed up to be a part of the UB Mentor Program. So let's scroll down. Let's go to like page 5 or something and see who comes up. Now we've got Jeff. It doesn't look like I know him. If I knew him, the connect button wouldn't be here. But let's have a look at his profile. Jeff comes up, premium account, works for New Directions Youth and Family Services. There's a summary. He's been there for almost 3 years. He was at the Mercy Flight, Western New York for almost 5 years. And he studied business and management and political science here at UB. So awesome. So he is a UB alumnus. He's got some really good experiences. Now let's say that we want to chat with him. So I'll try to send him a message. Now this is where LinkedIn comes in and says, not so fast. You can't just send messages like that. And it'll ask me to upgrade my account to a paid version. Now, kind of a bummer, to be honest with you. However, there is always a way around it. And what I would recommend doing is going back to this, to the results from your search and clicking send message. Boom, you are now able to send Jeff a message. So this is honestly a way around the whole upgrading your account. And the reason why you're able to send Jeff a message is because you have one thing in common. You are part of this group. So if you are a part of the UB Venture Program LinkedIn group, you are able to message all these people, which is really, really cool, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to message him because we're not connected. So let's say that you message him and you say, greetings from Buffalo, and you say, hey, my name is Stefano, and I'm really interested in marketing, and I came across your profile, while I was doing some research, and I'm really impressed by your work, blah, blah. Would you be willing to chat with me sometime on the phone? Or, because he does seem to love in Buffalo, maybe you can meet in person. And you can ask him, I'd really be interested in learning more about you, your career path, and maybe any tips or advice that you might have as I begin looking for an internship. So that way, it's a very different approach in saying, hey, do you have an internship, or would you be able to refer me into this company? But it's a different approach, because those first two things, do you have an internship or can you refer me, that's a lot of pressure on a person, especially if I don't know Jeff. However, if you say something like, and approach it like, hey, I'd be really interested in learning more about you, your career path, and maybe any bits of advice that you might have along the way, that kind of takes the pressure off. And, it makes it a lot more of human conversation, human interaction, as opposed to, this is what I want, this is what I need from you. And that's really, really important, because if you think about it, this could potentially be one of your professional connections. This could potentially be a career mentor. So you want to be sure that you're, conducting yourself in a very professional way and framing things in a way in which they show that, you're just genuinely interested in getting to know Jeff, as opposed to getting something out of him. So again, that's really cool that you're able to send a message, because you do have this one thing in common through the group. Now, let's say that you meet with Jeff, you like chat over coffee. It's a really great conversation. And during that conversation, you ask, hey, you know what, now that we've had a really great conversation, would you be interested in connecting on LinkedIn? That is key. Actually asking people, would you be interested in connecting on LinkedIn? Because the number of requests on LinkedIn that I receive on a monthly basis from people that I don't know, have never spoken with, is it's pretty up there. And more often than not, I regret those. I reject those people or ignore the requests, because I don't know them. Why would I connect with someone that I don't know? So it's really, really important for you to be able to connect with people that you know well and that you have already kind of established that relationship with. So let's say you and Jeff meet, you have a really great conversation, and then you hit connect. The one thing that you absolutely do not want to do is go about this, and no, don't do that. I'm going to say do not, by all means, keep this generic message. Personally, I find it kind of disrespectful. You didn't take the time to personalize the message to someone that you're connecting with, and just really shows that you just didn't take that time, or weren't as interested. Instead, I would definitely personalize this and saying something like hello Jeff, it was great chatting with you, blah blah blah. Maybe you can say let's connect and keep in touch. So you can say something like, hey Jeff, it was great chatting with you last week, blah blah blah. I really enjoyed learning about X, Y, and Z. Let's connect and keep in touch. And then you can just sign your name and send the request. And that makes such a huge difference in between receiving a very generic, request to connect and a personalized request to connect. It really helps for you to develop that relationship. And Jeff will remember, wow, he really took the time, and he took and made the effort really to send me a personalized message, which I think speaks volumes. And if you think about it, these are small things, but these small gestures, these small things that you can do make an impact. They make a difference, and they are really important, because let's say you and Jeff have a really great conversation. You ask him to connect on LinkedIn. You send him a personalized message. He now knows who you are. He knows about you, and let's say down the line he refers you to someone, for a job or an internship, and he is now able to talk about you. He knows that you're a professional, you were able to personalize those messages, you conducted yourself well, and that makes for a good and strong referral, as opposed to someone that you don't know as well. So again, I think it's really, really important to personalize these messages when you're connecting with folks on LinkedIn, because you want it to make it a personal connection and give that personal touch. Now, we've talked about a lot about different things when it comes to the UB Mentor program. So again, private group, request to join, over 2,000 plus members, half of them UB alumni, half of them current students like you. A lot of great group discussions. You can search for members via keyword, and then you can send them messages, because you do have the one thing in common. And feel free to connect with them, but be sure to personalize that message. So that is all on the UB Mentor program. Now let's move on to a different way of finding professional connections, of finding potential career mentors, and that's going to be through the Connections tab. So we're going to hover on Connections and click Find Alumni. And when we click Find Alumni, this really awesome search tool and function comes up, which is a lot more sophisticated than the simple keyword search that we were using on the LinkedIn group for the UB Mentor program. And it's just amazing, because it lets you filter by where they live, where they work, what they do, what they study, what they're skilled at, so on and so forth. So I use this all the time when I'm trying to look up UB alumni, because right now there's over 100,000 UB alumni on LinkedIn. So let's search maybe by what they do. Let's go into finance and where they live, greater New York City area, and where they work. Let's say city. So as you can tell, as I click through the different criteria, like the different filters, these numbers shifted and changed, and then the filters were up here, and I can remove them at all times. And all these folks are going to come up. So these are UB alumni, people that came to UB and are now on LinkedIn and currently work in finance in the greater New York City area, and specifically at City. So this is quite the detailed search, if you will, because we narrowed it down from 100,000 plus UB alumni down to 35. So quite the very detailed search. So let's look at Wayne's profile. And he's the Director of Global Chain Supply Finance Capabilities. Awesome. And he's been there for almost 20 years. That's amazing. If you scroll down, he actually went to UB and he got a bachelor's in economics. So let's say that we have a look at Wayne's profile. He's got some really great stuff. He seems like a good person that we might want to get to know, learn more about him, his career path, maybe some bits of advice that he might have on maybe we want an internship somewhere. In the finance world. It looks like he might be a good person to chat with. And again, if I try to send him an email, That's going to ask me to upgrade my account. Now, I don't really want to do that right now, so something that I could do is scroll down to groups and look at the groups that he's a part of. Now, he's a part of a lot of different groups, but a group that we actually have in common is this one, is the alumni group for UB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab his name, copy and paste. I'm going to go over here. So the State University of New York at Buffalo Alumni Association Group, there's over 12,000 members here. And it looks very similar to the UB Mentor Program. And I'm going to search his name now that I have that very specific keyword. And he pops up. And again, you have the ability to send him a message this way because you have the one thing in common. You're both part of the same group. So again, if you ever come across someone's profile that you're really interested in chatting with, but you aren't able to send them a message, have a look at what groups they're a part of. Chances are you're probably a part of the same ones, or you could join one so that way you do have that one thing in common. Now, I will say this. Full-time working professionals aren't on LinkedIn as often as students. So if they don't respond, do not take it personally. It's not that they don't want to talk to you. It's not that they're not interested. Chances are they probably read your message while they were grocery shopping or something. They said, oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I want to help that student. I'll just respond to it later. And then later comes around, but they forgot. And that is totally fine. You know, life happens, life comes up, but if anything, that should really motivate you to take the step and follow up with them. So what does that really mean? Follow up with them. I always recommend keep track of the people that you message. Keep track of the people that you send messages to. Perhaps have a column with their first name, last name, and maybe the date when you message them via LinkedIn, and then have another column with when you mean to follow up. So let's say we message Wayne, and today and a week passes by and we don't hear from him. Maybe we can send him another message saying, hello, I'm just writing to you to follow up on my previous message. I look forward to hearing from you. And that's it. And all of a sudden, your message goes back to the top of their inbox, and they're reminded. Because again, it's not that they don't want to talk to you. It's just that they forgot to respond. And you know, their inbox is flooded with other messages. And you know, it can serve as a nice little reminder for them to get back to you. And chances are they will. Now, if you have a feeling that this person hasn't been on LinkedIn for some time, and you can actually check that. If you go on his profile and we click View Recent Activity, we'll see that Wayne hasn't had any activity over the last 2 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks, Wayne hasn't been active on LinkedIn. So if you see this happening, you know, the chances of him responding might be a little bit lower than someone else. So something else that you can do is, you know, take it off LinkedIn. You know, Google his name, Google the company, his position title, and see what comes up. More often than not, you're going to find a staff directory with first name, last name, and email addresses. And then you can send an email directly to him, and chances are he's going to check that email a lot more often than he would his LinkedIn. All right, so we've again talked about the groups, such as the UB Mentor Program and how you can search for people and message them that way. And now we've talked about the Find Alumni function, which I think is honestly one of my favorite things about LinkedIn. It's so interactive and it's so cool just to kind of see the numbers move around and be able to search by different criteria. So definitely check this out as well, and you know, find some people to kind of message and reach out to as you really start to make those professional connections. Now, that should be it for now. So let me connect back to the presentation. Stop. Hello again. And let's go back to PowerPoint. Share. All right. So again, I just gave you a quick and easy hands-on tutorial on joining the group, the UB Mentor Program, engaging in group discussions, searching for career mentors, messaging, connecting with others. And we also talked about the Find Alumni search function with all those really cool moving numbers and different criteria that I definitely recommend using, as it can be really, really helpful for you to start reaching out to folks that you might want to connect to professionally, which includes UB alumni and employers. Now, I have not gotten any questions via Twitter, which is totally fine, which also means that I haven't had any technology issues. So I am very glad about that. So because there aren't any questions, let's just move on and talk about, okay, what are some of the action steps? Because I want you to feel like you watching this tidbit live or later was actually helpful. So some of the things that I recommend doing after today are, if you already have a LinkedIn profile updated and if you don't have one created, schedule an express appointment so that way we can have a look at it. We're always more than happy to review your LinkedIn profile, so come on in. Express appointments are offered during the academic year, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And they're same-day appointments, so you can just schedule an appointment with us that same day and come on in. So create and update your LinkedIn profile, schedule an express appointment for us to review it, join the UB Mentor Program group. We talked about how to do that, and then use the group and maybe other groups to look for and connect with career mentors. And in addition to those groups, be sure to use the Find Alumni tool, because again, that can be a really cool way for you to kind of branch out and meet other people that you wouldn't have already. But the cool thing about that is that you already have something in common. You're either A, part of a group, or B, both UB alumni, or you're a current student. So you already have that UB connection, which probably increases the likelihood of someone getting back to you and being really, really excited about helping you. All right, so that essentially concludes part 1 of the Career Mentor experience. Part 2, however, save the date and RSVP if you haven't already. Meeting a mentor is coming up next week on Tuesday, April 14th, 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And it's going to be a really, really great online panel discussion with UB alumni and employers about networking, both online and in person. So what that means essentially is that it won't just be me talking to you. We've got UB alumni coming to us live from their respective offices. And again, we're going to be utilizing Google Hangouts on air, so it'll be really great to kind of have them chat in and video chat and just kind of share their own experiences about, you know, what it was like to network and make those professional connections and find those career mentors, and how to do so both online and in person. So think of it as part 1 that you just watched was essentially the very technical, you know, the nuts and bolts, the nitty-gritty stuff, how to do it. And part 2, the online panel discussion, is going to be a really great way for you to kind of see that through personal stories and hear that from UB alumni. And something else is that the UB alumni will share their contact information, and you can potentially keep in touch as well. So it's also a really informal opportunity to kind of, you know, get those networking techniques to practice. Now, in addition to part 2 that's coming up next week, please RSVP if you haven't already. Really excited for it. We've got some other events coming up, and these are both next week on Thursday, April 16th. We've got the New York Virtual Career Fair and Graduate School Fair. And what's really cool is that it's pretty much all day and it's online. There's going to be different companies, organizations, and graduate schools present online, and you can chat with representatives just about all day. Just be sure to check the schedule, because different companies, organizations, and graduate programs have different times set up. So there's folks that will be there from 8 a.m. There's folks that will be there all the way up until 8 p.m. So the New York Virtual Career Fair and Graduate School Fair is coming up on April 16th, and it's going to be just about all day. Be sure to register. That's coming up, and it's free. It's absolutely free to all UB students. And the other really exciting upcoming event is also on the very same date, but this one does have a specific time. It's 5 to 7 p.m. at Burton. It's our annual etiquette dinner. Each year we have an etiquette expert come on in and provide you with an etiquette dinner and show you the do's and don'ts of eating like a professional, which is really, really important, especially if you start meeting and chatting with professionals, let's say over coffee or dinner. It's really important to kind of know how to conduct yourself in that environment, or if you meet with a potential employer over dinner, that's really important too. There is a charge for the annual etiquette dinner, and be sure to RSVP to that as well. But more information on both the New York Virtual Career Fair and the Graduate School Fair and the etiquette dinner that's coming up can be found on buffalo.edu/career. Just click on events for more information on those 2 happenings and other things that are coming up. All right. Thank you. That is a wrap, essentially. Thank you so, so much for viewing, watching live or later the Career Mentor Experience Part 1, Finding a Mentor. I hope that you found it useful. If you have any questions at all whatsoever, feel free to send me an email at gydover@buffalo.edu, or follow me on Twitter at gsversoto. And if you have any questions, I mean it, really, really mean it, whether it's later today, later tomorrow, later this week, later this month, later next year, whenever, feel free to reach out. So let's stop sharing my screen. Let's go back to you. Hello again. So again, thank you so much for watching today, the Career Mentor Experience Part 1, coming to you live from 259 Keepin Hall Career Services. I hope that you found this really helpful and beneficial. I'm really excited about Part 2 because, again, it's not just going to be me. We're going to have UB alumni coming to us live from their own respective offices and sharing their own personal experiences on networking, both online and in person. So if you haven't RSVP'd already, be sure to do so. do so using Bullseye. Just click the little RSVP function. And what I'm actually going to do later today or sometime tomorrow morning is I'm going to follow up with everyone that RSVP to the Career Mentor Experience Part 1, and I will share the direct link. So if you weren't able to watch live with us right now, you can watch live later, rather later. And you can also share that link with your friends. So let's say this is something that you think they'd be really interested in. Feel free to just kind of forward that email that I send you all and share the link, because again, the reason why we wanted to do the Career Mentor Experience via Google Hangouts on Air so that more people can watch it and we can reach a lot more people than just a simple in-person workshop. So I hope that you find this useful. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'm really excited for part 2 next week. I will see you then. Bye.